slope of straight line. The slope of the straight line represent the inclination of the line on the x-axis, and of course to determine the inclination we need to find the vertical change and the horizontal change. The slope of straight line passing through any 2 points or any 2 given points. First one will be x1 y1 and second one will be x2 y2, given by the formula m equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Right. y2 minus y1 represent the vertical change or the change in y over x2 minus x1 represents the horizontal change or change in x. Finally, the slope is the change in y over change in x, or we can see that it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The slope equals the change in y, as we said before, the change in y over change in x. That means equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Type. Let's go to the graph. Here we have the straight line. If we consider that the angle between the straight line and the x-axis considered to be theta, and here we have the length of the opposite side equal y2 minus y1 over the length of the adjacent side will be x2 minus x1. So change in y over change in x represent the opposite side over the adjacent side for angle theta. Now we have the ratio between opposite and adjacent will be tan theta. So we have another definition or formula for the slope, maybe y2 minus y1 over x2 over x minus x1 if the given is or are the 2 points, but if the given is the angle between the straight line and the x-axis, so the slope will be tan theta. Theta is the angle between the straight line and the x-axis, but in positive direction. What does it mean? We are going to start with OX till get the straight line. Finding the slope of a horizontal straight line. Here we have the line is parallel to x-axis, and we need to find the slope of this line. As we studied before, the slope equal change in y over change in x. Type. Here we have the change in the x direction equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means x2 minus x1, and there is no change in y, right? So no change in y means 0 over no change, the change of x, which is equal 7, means 0 over 7. Finally it will be 0 over 7 means 0. Or as we said, the first point equal 2 comma 10 and the second point equal 9 comma 10. How to find the slope using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1? It will be 10 minus 10 means 0 over 9 minus 2, which is equal 7. Here we have the vertical line or line with parallel to y-axis. First point equal 4 comma 5 and second point equal 4 comma 11. As we said before, if the line parallel to y-axis, that means the value of x2 equal the value of x1. Type. Let's find the slope of this straight line. The slope equal change in y over change in x. As we know, the change in y means y2 minus over minus y1. It will be 11 minus 5, which is equal 6, over x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 4 means 0. Finally, the answer will be 6 over 0. That means the slope is undefined. Finally, the line, if the line parallel to x-axis, the slope equals 0, but if the line parallel to y-axis, the slope is undefined. First exercise, find the slope of the following lines. Sorry. First line, we have a equal 2, 5, b equal negative 3, 7. How to find the slope, which is equal y2 minus, using the rule y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 5 minus 7 over 2 minus 3, or 2 plus 3. Finally, the slope equal negative 2 over 5. Second one, I have 2 points, which is negative 3 comma 0, 5 comma negative 4. How to find the slope? Y2 minus y1 means negative 4 minus 0, or 0 minus 4 over negative 3 minus 5. Finally, it will be 4 over negative 8, or negative 1 over 2 after simplifying. Type. The third one, here we have 2 comma negative 3, e equal 2 comma negative 3, and c equal f equal negative 3 comma negative 3. First, as we said before, this line I have, in this line I have y2 equal y1, right? So if y2 equal y1, that means the line parallel to x-axis, and the slope will be equal to 0. Okay, so if the line parallel to x-axis, the y coordinates of the 2 points will be the same. That means y2 equal y1. Type. How to find the slope? Maybe equal 0, or apply the rule, negative 3 minus 3 over 2 plus 3. Negative 3 plus 3 means 0 over 5. Finally, it will be 0. So the line, if the slope equals 0, the line parallel to x-axis. Slope equals 0, the line parallel to x-axis. Type. Finally, I have g equal 2 comma 6 and h equal negative 3 comma negative 4. How to find the slope? It will be 6 minus, apply the rule, 6 minus 4 over 2 minus negative 3. Finally, it will be 10 over 5 means 2. Of slope or types of lines. I'm going to start from the left side, start with the left side, and go with the line. If the line going up, that means the slope is positive. Tamam? So if the line going up from the left side, so this line has a positive slope. Type. What about the line going down? Start from the left side. If the line going down sorry, if the line going down, that means this line has a negative slope. Third case, a parallel to x, if the line parallel to x-axis, so the slope of this line equals 0. Parallel to x-axis equal 0. But if the line parallel to y-axis, there is no slope here, so the slope is undefined. Here we have example for the positive slope. If we going up, this line has a positive slope, but if we going down with the line, this line has a negative slope. But if we go in horizontal or parallel to x-axis, the line slope of this line equals 0. Finally, if the line vertical or going parallel to y-axis, there is no slope here. Said before, the slope equal the change in y over change in x. If we have 2 points, the slope will be change in y means y2 minus y1, and change in x would be x2 minus x1, right? Type. What if we consider the angle between the straight line and the x-axis, theta? So I need to find y2 minus y1 will be the opposite side to the angle theta, right? And also x2 minus x1 would be the adjacent side for angle theta. Type. Finally, y2 minus y1 represent the opposite, and x2 minus x1 represent the adjacent. That means the slope equal tan theta. Finally, I can find another rule for the slope, which is equal tan theta. The slope equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 if the given was the 2 points. But if the given was the angle between the x-axis and the straight line, so the slope in this case will be tan theta or tan the angle. طيب again theta is the angle between the straight line and the x-axis in positive direction. What does it mean? That means we are going to start with OX ray. Start with OX and go to in the positive direction. That means going up. Start with OX and go up till you find the straight line. So the angle will be theta. Theta in these figures. First figure is, here I have the line and I need to find the angle between the x-axis and the straight line in positive direction. Okay, in this case we have 30 degrees between the straight line and the x-axis. So how to find the angle theta? Start with OX ray. They have another one. Start with OX, okay, and go up till you find the straight line. So theta will be the angle between the x-axis and the straight line in positive direction. How to find the measure of this angle? Of course, here we have two supplementary angles. So the angle will be, or theta will be 180 minus 30, which is equal 150. If you need to find the slope will be tan 150. Type another example. Here I have another line. I need to find the measure of angle theta. First, I have a right angled triangle. One of its two acute angle equal 45. So I can find the measure of the second one, which is 180 minus 90 minus 45. It will be 45. How to measure theta? Theta will be the angle between OX, and I'm going to start with OX, going up till I find the straight line. Type. How to find the measure of this angle? I have here two supplementary angles. One of them equal 45. To find the other, it will be 180 minus 45. Finally, it will be 135. If you need to find the slope, it will be tan 135. Okay, find the slope of each of the following. If the angle between the straight line and positive direction of x-axis equal, first equal 30, so the slope will be tan 30, which is equal 1 over root 3. Type. Second, theta equal 45, so the slope will be tan 45, which is equal 1. Type. If we have 2 points A and B, A 2,5 and B equals 3,6, we need to find the slope. First, we need to find theta. What theta, considering that theta is the angle between the x-axis and the straight line positive direction. Type. First, find the slope of this line. How to find the slope? The given was 2 points, so it will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 6 minus 5 over 3 minus 2 means equal, the slope equal 1. How to find the angle? We know that the slope has another formula, which is tan theta. So tan theta will be equal 1. So how to find theta in this case? I'm going to take tan minus 1, 1, or shift tan 1. Finally, the angle will be 45. Another example, here I have c equal negative 3, negative 4, z equal 5, comma, negative 4, and I need to find the measure of the angle between the straight line and the x-axis positive direction, which is theta. How to find? First, find the slope of the straight line, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. As we said before, if y2 equal y1, that means the straight line parallel to x-axis, right? So the slope will be 0. Finally, I can say that m equals 0. How to find the angle in this case? Maybe shift tan 0. That means the angle will be finally equal 0, or I can know that if the line parallel to x-axis, that means the angle will be 0. How to find, or the relation between the slope of two parallel lines? That means we have two parallel lines and we need to find the relation between the slope of the first and the slope of the second line. Right. First, draw the two lines. Sorry, we have two parallel lines and we need to find the relation between their slope. Okay, find the slope of the first line. It will be tan theta 1. Theta 1 is the angle between the straight line and the x-axis positive direction, right? Type and find also the slope of the second line. It will be theta 2, which is represent the angle between the straight line or the second straight line and the x-axis positive direction. Here we have two parallel lines, so the relation between theta 1 and theta 2, they are two equal angles because they are corresponding, right? So here we have two corresponding angles, and the slope of the first one will be tan theta 1, and the slope of the second one will be tan theta 2, and theta 1 equals theta 2. Finally, I can say that the slope of the first line equals the slope of the second line. That means if we have two parallel lines, m1 will be equal m2, or the slope of the first line will be equal the slope of the second line. And also, if the slope of two lines are equal, that means the two lines are parallel. But the two lines are parallel if L1 passing through negative 2, 1 and 4, 5, L2 passing through 3, 0, 0, negative 2. First, find the slope of the first one. Apply the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, 5 minus 1 over 4 minus 2. Finally, it will be 4 over 6, or after simplifying 2 over 3. How to find the slope of the second line? Of course, same, it will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Finally, it will be 2 over 3. Here I have m1 equal m2, so L1 parallel to L2. Two lines have slopes equal m1 and m2, and the product of the two slopes equal negative 1. That means the two lines are perpendicular, or we can say that the slope of the first equal negative the reciprocal of the second one, means m1 equal negative 1 over m2, or m2 equal negative 1 over m1. Let's have an example. If the first line contains the 2 points 0, negative 1 and 2, 5, and the slope of the first line equal 3, and second line equal 0, 4, negative 3, 5, and slope equal negative 1 over 3. Let's draw or graph the two lines. Here we have the first line, and the slope of the first line equal 3, second line, and the slope of the second line equal negative 1 over 3. The product of the first and second slope equal negative 1, so the two lines are perpendicular. Two non-vertical lines are perpendicular if only the product of their slope equal negative 1. That means m1 times m2 equal negative 1, or m1 equal negative 1 over m2, or the first slope will be a over b, second one will be negative b over a. What is the meaning of non-vertical line? That means there is no, or the line is not parallel to x-axis or y-axis. Perpendicular line to each of the following. First, if the slope of the first one equals 7 over 9, how to find the slope of the perpendicular line on it? It will be the negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal means negative 9 over 7. Okay. Second one, here I have negative 5 over 4. How to find the slope of perpendicular? It will be 4 over 5. Reverse the sign and find the reciprocal of the fraction. Third one, it will be the slope equals 6. How to find? Of course, 6 considered to be 6 over 1. So the slope will be negative 1 over 6. Type. If the slope of the line equals 0, that means the perpendicular to it will be undefined. Okay, this is a special case. Vertical and horizontal line, one of the two slopes equals 0. That means the line parallel to x-axis, right? And the other will be parallel, or must be parallel to y-axis. So the slope of any line parallel to y-axis undefined. Type. The last one, if the first line its slope undefined, means the line parallel to on y. So the line parallel to y-axis. Finally, I can find the perpendicular on it, which is parallel to x-axis and also equals 0. And this is a special case in two perpendicular lines. Or prove that the two lines are perpendicular if the first line passing through the 2 points 5, negative 9 and 3, 7. Second one passing through 0, 2 and 8, 3. Find the slope of the first line, which is apply the rule y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it will be 7 minus 9 over 3 minus 5. Finally, it will be 16 over negative 2 means negative 8. Type. Find M2 also apply the rule the same way. It will be it will be 1 over 8. Type. The condition which make the two lines perpendicular is M1 time M2 equal negative 1, right? So I'm going to multiply M1 time M2, negative 8 over 1 time 1 over 8. Finally, it will be 1. Negative 1. So the two lines are perpendicular. If the slope of the first one, for first line time the slope of the second line equal negative 1, so the two lines are perpendicular. But we have a special case, don't forget, parallel to x-axis and parallel to y-axis, which is 0 and undefined. In two lines here we have the first line 5, 4 and 5, 2. If x1 equal x2, that means this line is parallel to x1 equal x2, parallel to, the line will be parallel to y-axis. And if y1 equal y2, the line will be parallel to x-axis. Start with the slope of the first line. And of course we know that this line is parallel to y-axis, so the slope is undefined. And if we substitute in y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, it will be 2 minus 4 finally over 5 minus 5 means undefined negative 2 over 0. Type. Undefined means the line parallel to y-axis. Type. Find the slope of the other line 5, 4 and negative 3, 4. Here we have y2 equal y1. That means parallel to x-axis and the slope will be equal 0. Type. Finally, if the slope equals 0, it will be parallel to x-axis. Parallel to x-axis and parallel to y-axis, of course, the two lines will be perpendicular. The straight line passing through the 2 points k, 0 and 0, 4 is perpendicular to another straight line. Make angle 45 with positive direction of x-axis. Find the value of k. Type. Start with the given slope. First, find the slope of the second one. It will be, here we have theta equal 45, and we are going to find the slope with tan theta, tan 45. Finally, it will be 1, right? Right. To find the slope of the other line before we start, it will be negative 1 over m1. يعني m2 equal negative 1 over m1. That means negative 1 over 1. Type. Apply the rule for the 2 points. M2 will be 0 minus 4 over k minus 0. That means negative 4 over k, right? Type. I said that the two lines are perpendicular. That means M2 equal negative 1 over M1. Type. Don't change the slope with the missing part. Change the slope or the completed slope, which is equal 1. Type. That means negative 1 over 1 equal negative 4 over k. Why negative 1 over 1? Because we find the reciprocal, the inverse reciprocal for 1. Type. Cross multiplication, k will be negative 4 times 1 over negative 1. It will be 4, 5. Find the angle between the straight line and x-axis in positive direction if the line passing through the 2 points 2, 5 and 4, 3. First, find the slope of this line. Apply the rule. It will be negative 1. And we know that the slope equal tan theta. Theta is the angle between the x-axis and the straight line in positive direction. So, tan theta will be equal negative 1. And to find the angle, it will be tan minus 1 or shaft tan negative 1. Finally, it will be negative 45. If the angle in negative, and this is a special case, we are going to study this case in the next year inshallah. But till now we have the angle, the negative angle. We are going to add 180 degree to the angle. So if the angle was negative, add 180 degree, finally it will be 135. طيب. Another example, AB is a line parallel to x-axis, and we have or passing the 2 points A, 2 comma negative 5 and 4 comma k. How to find k? Of course, if the line parallel to x-axis, y2 will be equal y1, so k will be equal negative 5. If the two lines with the slope negative 2 over 3 and k over 2 are parallel, find the value of k. طيب. First, the relation between the slope of two parallel lines, if L1 parallel to L2, that makes M1 equal M2, right? طيب يعني 2 over 3 equal k over 2, negative 2 over 3, sorry. Find cross multiplication, find the k will be 2 times negative 2 over 3, it will be negative 4 over 3. If M1 and M2 are the slope of two perpendicular lines, first one M1 equal 0.75, find the other slope L1 perpendicular to L2, that means M2 equal negative 1 over M1. Finally, it will be negative 1 over 0.75. Finally, it will be negative 4 over 3. Another example, here we have straight line passing through the 2 points x, 5 and 2, 3, parallel to another straight line which passing through 3, 4 and 5, 2. Start with the 2 points or the given two completed points. Find the slope of the first line, and of course if we have two parallel lines, that means M1 equal M2. M1 equal 4 minus 2 over 3 minus 5, that means negative 1. And because the two lines are parallel, so M1 will be equal M2. So find M2. How to find M2? Apply the rule. Start with the point with missing part. So 5, it will be 5 minus 3 over x minus 2. It will be 2 over x minus 2 type. That means 2 over x minus 2 equal negative 1 over 1, right? Cross multiplication, finally x minus 2 will be equal 1 times 2 over negative 1, means negative 2. And finally I can say that x equal negative 2 plus 2 equal 0. That WRST is a trapezium or trapezoid given the four vertices. In trapezium we have two parallel lines and the other two lines are not parallel. That means we have only one pair of parallel lines. So we are going to find the slope of the four lines, and proving that we have two parallel lines and the other two lines are not parallel. First, find the slope of WR, which is negative 3 over 0, means undefined. So undefined means the line parallel to y-axis. Type. And also find the slope of TS, which is negative 14 over 0. That means we have here we have the slope equal undefined. That means that the line is parallel to y-axis. First line parallel to y-axis and second line parallel to y-axis. That means the two lines are parallel. WR parallel to TS. Type. Find also, it's not enough to prove that the figure is a trapezium. We have to prove that the other two lines are not parallel. Find the slope of WT, it will be negative 9 over 4. Also the slope of RS, it will be 1 over 2. In this case, the M of WT is not equal M of RS. That means the two sides are not parallel. So finally I have two parallel lines and the other two lines are not parallel. That means WRST is a trapezium or trapezium. Using slope, prove that ABCD is a rectangle given that the four vertices of the rectangle. In rectangle, we have each two opposite sides are parallel first. So we are going to find the slope of AB. It will be 4 minus 0 over negative 1 minus 1. Finally, it will be negative 2. And also find M of DC, it will be negative 2. That means AB parallel to DC because M1 equal M2. Type. Go to AD and BC. Find the slope of AD, it will be 1 over 2. And apply the rule, find the slope of BC, it will be 1 over 2 also. Finally, I can say that AD parallel to BC. So, till now, we have each two opposite sides are parallel. Type. To prove that the figure is a rectangle, we have to prove that AD perpendicular to DC or the rectangle has one right angle, right? Type. Find the proof of, find the slope of first line AD. Type. First, the line AD will be 1 over 2 type, and the slope of DC equal negative 2 type. Multiply m1 times m2, it will be negative 1 times 1 over 2, finally negative 1. So the product of two slopes equal negative 1. Finally, I can say that AD perpendicular to DC. That means ABCD is prove that ABCD ABC is a right angled triangle using slope. First, find the slope of AB. Apply the rule, it will be 1, and find the slope of AC, also apply the rule, it will be 3, and the slope of BC will be negative 1. That means we are going to find the slope of the three sides of the triangle. Then finally the product of any two slopes will be negative 1. That means we have a right angle. Try negative 1 times 1, it will be negative 1. That means AB perpendicular to BC. Finally, the triangle is right. If the points ABC are the vertices of right angled triangle at C, find the value of x. Here we have a right angled triangle at C. That means AC perpendicular to BC. So first find the slope of AC. It will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That means 7 minus 2 over 5 minus 2. Finally, it will be equal 3. Then find the value of BC and start with the point of missing port. That means x minus 7 over 8 minus 5. Finally, it will be x minus 7 over 3. If AC perpendicular to BC, that means m1 times m2 equal negative 1, or m1 equal negative 1 over m2. Find the negative reciprocal of the number here, or the slope which is represented by a number. That means I'm going to find the negative reciprocal of 3, that equal negative 1 over 3. Then x minus 7 over 3 to equal negative 1 over 3. Finally, cross multiplication, find the value of x. X minus 7 will be equal negative 1 times 3 over 3. Final means negative 1 over 1. So x will be negative 1 plus 7. Finally, x will be 6.